Here, you see that pole?
Right here. My path.
Yeah, those poles are, that's Mommy's tree that she just planted. No, you're walking on it.
Come this way. Come this way.
So follow Willow's tracks.
I'll follow these tracks.
Willow, you gonna walk into the garden?
Well, it's a little deep right there, isn't it?
I already have. Wow.
You're okay.
We could build a snowman on the garden.
You could. There's the compost, there's the garden.
Sheena was out here earlier, wasn't she?
Livs, you're taller than Mommy. You're okay. You got this, sister. Climb the mountain. You almost made it. You're the queen of the mountain.
Hey, Liv.
Hi, Dylan. What you doing, baby boy? Meow. Hi, baby boy. Are you happy to be outside, huh, buddy? I know. Oh, that smoked me. Oh, y'all are heavy. Hi, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Amanda. It's nice to have you here. Thanks for dropping by. Happy Easter. It's the day that our Lord has risen. It's a beautiful day outside right now. Everything's melting. I don't know if you can hear it back there, but my whole upstairs deck up there outside our bedroom door is melting onto the bottom deck, and it's making a nice sound like it's rain. And I cannot wait for spring. Like, I can't even describe to you how much I'm ready for spring. Sorry about that. Had to splice the video because my husband called me. He is up. I don't know if you can see. He's up on the hill. I can't see over here. Trying to get our diesel pickup running. He moved a bunch of snow from around it. He's up there working on that to get it started and moved, to try and get that pickup going, just kind of doing a little bit that we can while things are melting. It's probably melted a good 3 inches off of a lot of places. I mean, it's slow, but it's going, so I'm chomping at the bit to get in the garden. Today, we are going to be canning up some chicken stock, and I'm going to kind of walk you through what I did. Chicken stock was the very first thing that I ever pressure canned, so this is going to be kind of like a sort of beginner canning video. And then I'm going to sprinkle in some other stuff. Like, we got a hog from a neighbor, and so my husband had the butcher, well, the guy who sold it to us had the butcher it. We paid the butcher. He skinned it. He did all the things and split it in half and then wrapped it up. So we had 2 whole halves. If that even makes sense, 2 whole halves. We had a whole hog split in half. And Anthony went through and he cut everything up into different meat cuts, like pork roasts and pork shoulders and stuff for bacon, and I'll add that in here somewhere. I did a whole video with him kind of walking me through what all the cuts were, because I'm still learning too. He's done a lot of research on the hog end of it. We're thinking about getting into hogs here. We're not sure yet. I think we will eventually do some just for us. Ultimate dream would be to raise hogs and chickens and be able to sell them publicly. So that's just kind of something we're thinking about, you know, infrastructure, you know, praying on it, stuff like that. So we're just going to keep that in our back pocket and kind of learn in the meantime. You know, if we don't ever get that large or get to be able to do that, it's still going to be great food for our family. So I'm going to bring you inside. I just wanted to film this little intro outside because it's, number one, it's gorgeous out, and I want to be outside no matter what when it's nice. And number 2, it's kind of loud in the house with the kids. And Autumn, my oldest, is taking a nap, so I didn't want to disturb them. The other 2 are watching TV, so we're going to go inside. I have the chicken stock that was simmering ready to go, and I'm going to walk you through kind of my process for canning it up. Okay, so here is my chicken stock. And it's beautiful and dark. And I'm just going to strain this into a large container that I can pour from. I've got my jars and rings and super duper hot water and soap. I'm going to clean those when I get ready to fill them. I want the jars to be hot because my product is hot. That's kind of a good rule of thumb. If you got cold or room temperature stuff going in a jar or cold stuff, you want kind of the same temperature jar, because you can break these if you do a too big of a temperature change. And dirty dishes in the sink because, mom life. Anyway, got this ready. I'm going to set them on here. You don't want to put your hot jars. Please wait. Yep, I know. You're going to have to wait. Sorry, dear. This is for the jars. You don't want to put hot jars on a cold counter because it can also break them. And then we are going to fill this up about 2 to 3 inches. As you can see here, I got a sweet ring going on from how much I filled it. And then once I fill this, I'm going to put a splash of vinegar in it. And then I'm going to, since it's an all-American and I don't have rubber gaskets on my lid, it's just literally metal to metal. And you can kind of see a little bit of residue left on there. I'm going to take some olive oil on my fingers and I'm just going to rub it around this flange. So you can see there's a flange here and here's the main portion, and then it flanges outward. So I'm going to just oil that and then put this on probably right below medium just to start getting it nice and warm and hot, because you want that water to be warm as well as the product that you're putting it in. Common temperatures. It's a sort of a theme. Warm canner, warm jars, warm product. Cold canner, cold jars, cold product. Kind of, if that makes sense. So we're going to go ahead and get this going. Okay, got everything prepped and ready to go here. Also, did I say chicken broth? Because I meant beef broth. Anyway, beef broth. Beef broth is what I'm doing today. I almost forgot what I was doing. This is how chaotic it's been. Okay, so all I did was take this strainer and I set them in this bowl, and I just ladled it in here right out of my roaster. You can do one of these. You don't have to do 2. I just tried to get out as much little particles as I could. I normally put cheesecloth in this one and then kind of balance it on here, let it go. But I don't have any cheesecloth, so I just used a double strainer to try and get as much as I can out. It doesn't have to be perfect, and that's fine with me. It's still going to be super good and delicious. And then I got my jars out. I'm going to try and work quickly here so they don't cool off too fast. I've got my vinegar, because once I'm done filling these, I'm going to wipe them with vinegar to make sure there's no oils or anything on here. And then I'm going to throw my lids on. And this is also kind of like a depends on your preference type thing. I don't soak mine in hot water. A lot of the old school ones, you used to have to make sure you put them in hot water to loosen up that rubber so that it would get a good seal. But I have not had to do that with any of these newer ones, and that's what I've been told, is that the newer ones, you don't necessarily have to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and use my funnel to make sure I don't make a hot mess. I'm going to get these all filled up and then wipe them down, put the lids on, put the rings on, finger tight. You don't want to crank it with your wrist. You're doing fingers like this, and that's it. And then we are going to take them and put them in our canner and get it processing. Okay, we got all 7 of them in here. I have oiled this little ridge, as you can see, and I'm going to throw my lid on, and we're going to get this up to pressure. I'm going to crank it on high, and I want there to be a huge shoot of steam, same thing. Huge stream of steam coming out of this vent right here. Okay, so this is actively shooting out steam. Can't really see it, but you can hear it. And now we're going to set a timer for 10 minutes and let that vent. Why is my camera not focusing? There we go. So we're going to set it 10 minutes, vent, and I'll be back. Alexa, stop. Okay, now I'm going to take my weight, and you do your research for where your elevation is. It depends on, my goodness, my camera does not want to focus today. 10 pounds or 15 is usually what you do for pressure canning. And so I'm going to go ahead and throw mine on. And we're going to wait for that to come up to pressure now. And once it comes up to pressure, I'll take a video of what that looks like. I'm leaving it on high And now it's just going to build pressure. And then when it's jiggling and doing its thing, I will come right back. Okay, so it's going crazy. And now for me, I'm going to drop this down to just above medium. That's for my burner. And then I'm just going to keep an eye on this pressure. You want this to do its little jiggle thing about, I don't know, about 4 or 5 times every minute. You don't want it to be going crazy like this the whole time. And so we're just going to let that sit, do its thing. It's going to come down to where it's even pressure. We'll keep an eye on it. And for broth, if you're going to be doing pints, you can do 20 minutes, but since we're doing quarts, it's 25 minutes. So we're going to let this chill out, do its thing, and oh, one more thing, glass top stove. A lot of people say do not pressure can on a glass top stove. I've had no problems, and I've pressure canned a ton of stuff. You can call your manufacturer. See, it's already starting to calm down. Look it up, call your manufacturer. This is a Whirlpool. No idea what model, but I've had no problems. I make sure that I don't overfill this. I have done double stack because I have the divider in there. So I have done multiple pints double stacked, and it's been fine. I just keep an eye on it. And yeah, that's about it. So we're going to keep an eye on this pressure. We want to make sure that's jiggling a couple times every minute. I might just crank the heat back up a little bit. And we're going to let this go. Alexa. Alexa. She never listens to me. Okay. We're going to set old school timer. And ready to rock. Because your timer can start as soon as your jiggler is jiggling full force. Oh, that's 25 minutes, Amanda. I knew something was off. There we go. Try that. Okay, timer's gone off. So now, I'm just going to come over here and kill the heat and literally let it sit until it hits 0. You want to make sure that it gets all the pressure completely out of it. So we're just going to let it sit, and this could take about 15-20 minutes. Okay, so the pressure came down to 0, and we took the weight off. I unscrewed it. Oh my word. Unscrewed the lid, and now I'm gonna take those out and set them on the counter here. I've let them sit open for about 10 minutes now, just to kind of let them regulate to the room temperature. And I'm gonna take them out and stick them on the towel. Hey guys, happy Monday. Sorry I didn't finish recording yesterday of what I was doing with the beef broth. I was struggling with some super bad digestive issues yesterday, and so it was hurting to walk even. Super strange. I've literally never had that happen before. So I would do a little bit, sit down, do a little bit, sit down. My oldest actually took the weight off for me, which is where we got left off at. But I'll show you what came out of the canner and what it looks like. So here is the beautiful, beautiful beef broth. That is gorgeous color. My beef broth is usually a little darker, but that sometimes depends upon the veggies you put in there. It changes the color a little bit too. So I've used probably less veggies than normal. So that's okay. But I still have some that I've been keeping warm that I need to continue to can up. I think I'm going to do some pints because some of my recipes only call for like a cup or so of beef broth. So I'm going to can up the other one. What you missed, what I didn't get, was just my lid being on my canner. And then my oldest, just once the pressure came down to 0, I made sure she verified that. I told her to use a hot pad or a towel. You can just use a towel and grab it off there. And then so she took the weight off, and you want to make sure you take that weight off shortly after it hits 0, because what I've heard can happen is it can create like a vacuum and really suck your lid on as it cools and the metal shrinks and all that good stuff. So if you take it off or take the weight off, let it acclimate, for a couple, I usually undo my flanges and then I'll crack the lid And I'll just kind of sit it on here off to the side and let it kind of sit like that for about 10 minutes. Then I'll take the lid completely off, give it another 5 or 10 minutes, and then you can move them out. It's just, you don't want to cool them down too quickly. Boy, what are you eating? What in the world happened? Please don't eat Easter grass. Why are you eating Easter grass? It's always something. I don't even... Kids, man, you just... nothing's ever clean, and that's all right. Because pretty soon they're going to be grown and gone, and I'm going to miss it, so... Just got to clean up after them every day until then. So here's the beef broth, and it's super simple. I highly encourage you to just give it a shot. You can hit me up if you have any questions. I'd be more than willing to talk to anybody that has questions. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. You can find me on there. You can even shoot a comment under this video. I can help out with troubleshooting and any questions you might have. But yeah, this is probably one of the easiest recipes to do with your pressure canner. This is the All-American 921 for anybody that's wondering, and it was a splurge. These are kind of expensive, but the reason I pulled the trigger on this was, number one, it did not require a rubber gasket, so that was one less maintenance thing that I had to order for this. One thing I will be replacing after this next canning season, probably because it still looks like it's in really good shape, is this rubber gasket for safety. If for some reason your weighted gauge gets stuck and it builds up an incredible amount of pressure, this will release before anything blows up. That was my number one fear, and this was also the one thing that sold me on pressure canning. Was nowadays we have this built-in feature, so the probability of this failing and this with your weight failing at the same time and something blowing up is super, super rare. So don't even be afraid of that. That's pretty much a non-issue. Here's the top of it, and it just pops out of there. I can take it in and out if I want to. It's not like it pops and you can never use it again. You just rip it out, shove it back in if you need to. So when my canning is done this next fall, before I put it away, I'm probably going to order a few of these. And then next canning season, well, let's be serious. I use my canner all year long, but I'll probably just replace this, make sure it's not rotted or anything. It feels really great. I've had no issues. I haven't used it a super, super ton, but anyway, so that's why I splurged and purchased this, because I knew it would last a long time, low maintenance, holds heat very well because it's so thick, made in the United States, like fantastic. Says right here where it's made. So I highly, and there's my model number and stuff. Highly recommend this one. I do, however, want to get a smaller Presto one. I've heard great things about Presto ones. My mother has a Presto one. She's used it, very similar to this, but it's a locking lid. So I thought about getting that for like smaller projects, like a few pints that I'm doing or whatever. But I'll link this. I found it on Amazon for a pretty good deal. I don't know what the prices are now, but I will link it. And then you guys can check out other sizes or check out this one and see what you think. Okay, so I just wiped these down with some of my cleaner, just household cleaner. And then we're going to label them. Always label your stuff, because there's a lot of times where you can put stuff on your shelf, you're like, yeah, I'm totally going to know what that is. And then you get to, a month later and you're like, what was that again that I just canned? So it's always best to label everything that you can. So I'm just going to go ahead and label these, and I'm going to stick them on my shelf. Okay, so I have quite a bit of beef broth here. Don't mind my plant light blinding you with pinkness, but I'm going to do like a first in, first out type thing. I'm going to scooch all these forward, and then everything that I just canned, I'm going to put toward the back so it gets used last. And I try and do that with everything that I can. I always pull older forward and put the new in the back, because you kind of keep that rotating stock that way. Okay, so Anthony just got done cutting up the hog that we got from our neighbor, and it pretty much takes up our entire 9-foot table. He spent pretty much the whole late morning and afternoon doing this, but got it all done. We're going to stick it in a freezer, and some of this we're going to process later. Like, what are we doing with these giant hams?
I'm gonna brine them for about a week or so, and then put them in the smoker.
Okay, and then we can cut them up and use them for like different meals and stuff.
Yep.
And then this is for sausage. Do we know what kind of sausage we're gonna do, or are we just?
I think I'm thinking just some Italian and breakfast, just a mixture.
Okay.
Stuff for dinner, stuff for breakfast.
For breakfast, I like the breakfast sausage. And then these are the pork bellies, which are all gonna be for bacon.
Yep, everyone.
Okay, bacon. And
we
then
love bacon.
We do love bacon. Willow loves bacon. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, basically 5, 6, 7 roasts. Because we're counting this loin as a roast, right?
Yeah, we just do that.
So 7 roasts. And then he saved a lot of the pork fat. This is, I got to do some more research. I'm just learning kind of as I go too with pork fat. I think this will be different from the leaf fat that you saved. You said this will be more for like pie crust and stuff. You can use it in place of Crisco, basically. Yeah. And then pork hocks. We're gonna be smoking these and slicing them up smaller, so that we can use them for like beans and seasoning dishes and stuff like that. So that'll give us a good chunk. I mean, this is a 4-pound. It's pretty substantial. So. And then we got each of these has 7, right?
Nope.
No.
The 1.5 pound each of packages, they got 7.
Okay.
And then the other got 6. They're a little bit thicker.
Okay. But these will be good for like summertime, which if we ever get summertime. So that's a good chunk of pork chops, and this is all from one hog, and the hog was how much live weight?
I think it was close to 280, 290.
Okay.
It field dressed at 196, and we got 147 pounds of meat from it, and I think just shy of 160 pounds of overall,
including the fat.
Yeah, including the fat. So
because I'll put the fat to use. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this fat, but that's what YouTube's for, right? We're gonna learn and figure it out. Leaf fat, I'm pretty sure I know how to render that down already. So that'll be good to experiment with some recipes. Stay tuned for that. But yeah, you killed it, babe. Nice job. We're going to pack this up in the freezer and then get on with our day. We started the videos outside, so I'm going to end the video outside. It's pretty nice. It's cooling off. It's about 7:17 right now on Monday night. And we're just going to wind down. My mother-in-law has the girls tonight, so it's kind of a quiet one in the house tonight. I should film a lot of videos while they're gone. But, so I'm just going to finish up canning. I'm going to do some more of that broth that I got in there, and then put that on my shelves. I might start another batch of broth maybe on like Thursday or Friday, so I can can it over the weekend, because I need more chicken broth too. So I'll be doing that. I'm praying that this snow can hurry up and melt, because I have so many outside videos that I want to shoot. I know I sound like a broken record. I keep saying that. But Norma Jean, hi. But it's true. There's this corner of my deck. I have a super exciting thing that I'm going to be working on this spring in that corner of my deck, and I'm really excited to bring you along. I don't want to spill the beans, but it's going to be cool. It's going to be an experiment and a learning tool. So I'm going to have a lot of videos on that corner of the deck. And that's just right outside my house. It's just right outside my laundry room. So it goes kitchen, you walk through the kitchen, into the laundry room, and out on the back deck. So I'm going to have that spot very close to my house, and you'll see what we do. But just stay tuned. I appreciate everybody that's subscribed and everybody that's liked and commented and followed us on what we're doing in this dreary winter time. But it's coming to an end. Everything's melting. It's getting to be nice days. So I'm very grateful for that. Oh, there's deer running. I wish I could zoom that far, running across the field. Those poor things have had such a rough winter with all this snow. It's been awful. I had a little squirrel on my bird feeder here trying to eat the bird seed out of there. He was hanging upside down. If I can find the video, I'll share a little post at the end here. But you guys take care. And thank you again for all the support that we've had. I'm going to be getting some more videos out there. I'm going to start doing some shorts, I think. Some of the stuff that I want to share with you guys is not like complete video worthy. So I think tonight, while the girls are gone, I might actually film a couple of shorts and share them as the week progresses. So thank you guys again. Have a great week, and we'll see you next weekend.